I would like to introduce Larry Twele to say a few words. So Larry?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, welcome to our Innovation Center. And some of you who have been with Startup Grind for a while may have been in our old facility over on Bendix Road. Raise your hand if you attended some of Chris's events. Okay, so you can see the before, and you're sitting in the after. This is our new home. Let me tell you a little bit about the Economic Development Authority and why this is a part of what we do. Basically, think of us in three basic categories. I mean, we are responsible for the economic development strategy for the county. We work with existing businesses, helping them grow across industries, manufacturing, healthcare, retail, you name it. We do it. We take care of our existing businesses and help them grow here because that's where you get most of your job growth from. Our job is to help grow jobs and help create a healthy tax base for the county. We work with our existing businesses because your existing customer is your best customer. We also are responsible for attracting new business to the county to help bring new jobs to the county to further increase that tax base. We do marketing and communications on our activities and promote the county, but we also focus on innovation and entrepreneurship, and that is really one of the primary strategies and why we're working on this center the way we are. We originally came from a 25,000 square foot incubator in our old facility where we had about 25 resident companies and about 25 affiliate companies. But it was in a facility that was, what's a kind word? It was industrial. Yeah, it was industrial. Thank you. That's a good, kind word. And for years now, we have been working on a strategy to really build an innovation center that screams innovation, will attract new companies, new ideas, new talent, and the county, in their support of that idea, has given us most of this building. And you're sitting on the third floor where our startup companies reside. We have about 25 resident companies here. And we also have affiliate companies who use the services that are here, our mentorship, the conference rooms, and the co-working facilities, but they don't actually have an office with a door. But they have a mailbox with an address that says they are part of this facility. But what's new about what we're doing is we have the fourth floor, the fifth floor, part of the lobby to really expand our strategic partnerships and our services that not only help the startup community, but will help the existing businesses here in the community grow. We're really just trying to be a nexus of innovation, ideas, collaboration, and ideation. And partnering with Startup Grind is a key relationship in that regard. Raise your hand if this is the first time you have been in this building. All right, thank you for coming. What we're trying to do is show how in Howard County, geographically located the way we are, we really have the ability to be an impactful center for the region and the state. We're building strategic relationships with NSA and APL, the MITRE Corporation. We have the 7th Intelligence Squadron from the Air Force located on the 4th floor. And we have the ability now to bring in all of the strategic partners for collaboration and helping create and solve problems for the world, really. So partnerships like the one with Startup Grind is exactly in line with that mission. We're trying to use our facility and build these partnerships and provide the services and the help that you need to grow your companies and grow your ideas. We are just in phase 1 of this project, this third floor. We completed the first week of June, so we've been here a little over 3 months. As you walked into the lobby, you saw it looked like it was under construction. You're going to see a cafe downstairs. You're going to see a state-of-the-art conference facility that'll seat about 150 folks. We will have other services on the 5th floor, and slowly we are building out the 4th floor for conference space, office space, meeting rooms, all kinds of. Basically, I want to be the BWI of innovation. All sorts of things that are happening here. Yeah, pick your airline, and we'll take you to the right place. So, thank you for coming to the Innovation Center. And we are here to serve. We're looking forward to a good relationship with Startup Grind. And Chris, thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Larry.
All right. All right, Kyle.
I would like to call on, is it good?
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark McTamney. I'm the founder and CEO of Is It Good, the social podcast app, and we are making podcasts social, along with my CTO, Anthony Tortorella, there in the back, who some of you may have talked to. By way of brief background, spent the previous 6 years of my career at my last local startup, Parking Panda, where as part of the original 3-person team, grew the team to over 40 employees, 2 million paying customers, $30 million in annual gross revenue, and $11 million raised, culminating in our successful acquisition in 2017. And during that time, I started listening to a lot of podcasts. Anybody here listen to podcasts? All right, I like to see it. And my first one was recommended by a friend, but when I got done that podcast, I didn't know what to listen to next. So I started Googling around and trying to find what's the Rotten Tomatoes for podcasts, what's the Goodreads or Netflix for podcasts, and I realized it didn't exist. So like any good entrepreneur, I decided I'm just going to build it myself. So about a year and a half, founded Is It Good, the first of its kind social podcast app. So what our platform for iOS, Android, and now web allows users to do is allows podcast listeners to see what their friends and other people are listening to, more easily share and engage around podcast content, and get Netflix-style personalized recommendations for what to listen to next. But we don't stop there, because as I started to get immersed into this podcast universe, podcast world, I started going to a lot of podcaster meetups and meeting people with podcasts, and discovered they had that same problem on the other side. Is I launched a podcast, my parents listen, and a couple friends, and nobody else. How do I find listeners? In fact, there are 800,000 podcasts out there today, which number has 5x'd in just the last 4 or 5 years. So what we also do with our platform is provide a two-sided marketplace for podcasters as well, allowing podcasters a suite of marketing tools to acquire new listeners, get better data and analytics, and ultimately better engage with their customers, and better monetize their podcasts. So in terms of where we've been and where we're going, so last year we were one of 7 companies accepted into Accelerate Baltimore, the 3-month accelerator run out of the ETC in Baltimore. We were lucky enough to be the grand prize winner for a grand total of $125,000 seed capital raised to date. We then use that to launch our apps for iOS and Android, which are currently in private beta. And then just this year, we were one of 40 companies selected to pitch for Barstool Sports, who did a knockoff of Shark Tank called The Big Brain Show. But that aired, I guess, online in July, which was exciting. And actually just found out we made it to the second round of interviews for a national accelerator program. So knock on wood, we'll see how that goes. In addition, so kind of going forward, we're actually getting ready to launch our fully functional website this week. As I said, our apps have already been live in private beta for iOS and Android. And I guess just to that effect, in terms of asks and what we need, first and foremost is just users for the app. So everybody who raised their hand and said they listen to podcasts, we'd love to have you try out the app, see how it goes. Again, it's not public in the App Store yet. Hopefully start of October, we're very close. But if you just go to isitgood.com, you can download it pretty easily there. And then in addition to that, we'll probably be fundraising later this year or early next year, so always looking to get introduced or start building relationships with more investors. And then part and parcel with that, we'll be growing the team. So particularly developers, but really anybody out there will be looking for that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for your time.
Okay, next up is Fugue and Joan Canner. Welcome.
Greetings, everyone. When it comes to Fugue, I can talk to you at the table. You can talk to Michelle, our CEO, Chief Engagement Officer. You can look at our executive summary. All that stuff can happen, all the stats, right? We're going to start very macro today and keep it there for a while. Music streaming titans look a hell of a lot alike, right? I mean, we're down to 5. When I first started Fugue, there was a good dozen, including Rdio. Does anyone else remember Rdio? Poor Rdio. they look a lot alike, and now they're also starting to like lose their original mission. Less about music, more about podcasts. Gosh, maybe even TV is like getting in there. So they're losing focus in terms of like their original mission. And when it comes down to it, we're losing also in all of that. They're not differentiating. When it comes, in terms of data, only about 10% of all music is listened to through streaming services. We're getting 10% of what's out there. How do you get to the other 90%? How do you deal with the intense problem of music discovery, and how do you match up people to this? So Fugue is here to help. In some ways, it is kind of like Marie Kondo, and yes, I will use her name because she's very relevant right now. Does your music spark joy in you? Does a certain song or artist or album still make sense to you? Well, if it doesn't, you need to make space, and Fugue helps you do that. Whether you want to forget it for like a week, a month, a year. But when it comes to Fugue 1.0, for which we're going to be doing some additional fundraising, what do you put in that space? And who wants to get access to that space? If you're part of the 99% of artists who are not being listened to, don't you want access? If you're advertisers, don't you want to understand these groups better and learn more about the people that you're advertising to? Because right now, these streaming services aren't getting it right. Fugue is more than just a skip button. A skip button teaches you nothing. A skip button doesn't create space. Skip button also may not be permanent. So I just want to get you guys thinking more about that when it comes to Fugue, because it's more of a seismic shift. If you think about creating space, what does that mean for you? Who gets the chance to like help you discover? When it comes to filling that space, what do you end up swapping in with our music swap feature? When it comes to your social networks, wouldn't it be kind of neat to take music social? It already is. You go to conferences and concerts and you listen to things together. What if you can somehow blend both music streaming and social media? All right, I'm gonna break up with Kelly Clarkson, guys, and forget her for about a month. Then you get the other social networks get to know. If you want to fill in that gap, you get to say, well, who should I swap in its place? I guarantee you there are people in your life who are these ultimate music discoverers who are like willing to help you out. On the lines, you also get a chance to learn what I'm going through. Also, we're going to be featuring something new. We have a great design for it, cold mapping. So we all care about like heat mapping. Where are things hot? Where are things getting exciting? But where are people forgetting about music or wanting to get rid of music? Where are they making space? If you're a promoter or you're someone who works with new emerging artists, wouldn't you be interested in knowing where people end up or who they should be putting all of their resources? And can you imagine saying to your smart speaker when you walk in the door and you've had a tough day, fugue it? Wouldn't that just feel incredibly like such a relief to be able to do? And of course, you guys have been reading, I'm sure, behind me, but for us, in terms of this network, and thank you for being like a real meaningful network, Startup Grind, we want to learn more about business plan evolution, continuing to monetize. Certainly, gamification is going to be a piece to all of this, right? Who wants to go ahead and vie for what's space between your 2 ears? And how does that impact us when we listen to music in so many different places now, including our cars and also at home? Intellectual property guidance would be pretty major because, let's be honest, Fugue is super tiny. There's just a couple of us, and I'm not that well heeled. So how can I protect my IP? Because, of course, these major titans want to differentiate, and I'm sure they'd be willing to pluck this and have their developers do it in a heartbeat, right? So yes, it'd be great to be able to learn more about how do you get Alexa skill out of this. This, in general, means that we're approaching like tech differently. We're putting the user at the center. That's disruptive. That's a seismic shift and come to this thinking. And I know that we're in the Margaret Peninsula, and I respect that completely. This is not LA, but who here might have some context in music and entertainment? And again, it's Fugue. I know, tough to pronounce, but so it is. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Joan. Next one up, Greatest Possible Good, GPG. Knock 'em down.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, guys. In Maryland, we donate about $5.3 billion to charity every year. And 1 out of 10 of us works for a nonprofit. In the corporate world, the Business Roundtable recently reworded its statement of purpose to say that they are existing for not just shareholders, but stakeholders, all stakeholders. Our world is brimming with altruistic energy, but we're not harnessing it very efficiently. For example, in Baltimore, there are over 400 neighborhood associations. There are 278 neighborhoods. James O'Toole's book, Enlightened Capitalists, documents dozens of corporate leaders who tried and failed to do well by doing good. True sustainability is measured by the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. If you're missing one of those ingredients, you're not truly sustainable. That spells doom. We are greatest possible good, and we design sustainable business models. We specialize in helping your organization create and sustain positive impact. We'll help your organization understand its greatest challenges and its greatest opportunities and seize them. We'll give you the tools to not only develop sustainable business strategies, but to inject fun and creativity into your workflow. This has been a really long journey for my partner and I. That's Kenneth Wayman back there. He left a very high-paying position in the software land to come and pursue this dream with me of doing the greatest possible good. And I recently went through the Micah and Johns Hopkins Dual Masters program in design leadership, getting an MBA and an MA after coming out of the politics world down in Annapolis. And we're very excited to bring this mission to life and use our skills to create impact at scale. We're all about scaling impact. And so what we're looking for from you mostly is connections. Obviously, we need clients. We are a consultancy, so we need some revenue. We love doing pro bono work for nonprofits and sliding scale work for nonprofits, but we'd really like to help corporations that are trying to figure out how to become more environmentally, more socially sustainable, and nonprofits that have the problem every nonprofit has of where's the money. And we talk with a lot of nonprofits about their financial sustainability, and that's our whole mission. We're specialists in helping them figure out how to become more sustainable. So we are looking for client leads and talent as well. We can use CFO services and designers. We always need more designers on our team, so UX researchers, UX designers, and if you happen to know somebody else who's trained in design thinking, we'd love to have them on our team. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Big Guy. Thank you.
We're Elysian Holdings, the package matters. Single-use plastics, had some great conversations with people while I was here. Nobody said, I love single-use plastics. Right? They're everywhere. Right? So what we're trying to do is thank you. We're trying to make, and we have a great team to do it. We're part of Bethesda Green Accelerator down at Bethesda. And we're about making compostable containers from industrial hemp, which, as many of you know, is newly legalized in Maryland. This is the first year you can grow industrial hemp. But hemp is actually a great crop for farmers, which is why there's the excitement. Why? Because it has 3 products from every crop. So a farmer can make 2 to 3 times what he can growing corn or soybeans. So it was criminalized because it kind of got stuck with the wacky weed stuff for a while, but with the Farm Bill 2018, it's back. And the great thing is, you can make some great containers that have particular components and properties that make them even better containers that are compostable. So what we have, and this is we have a great team with development partners in 4 of the fastest growing hemp states in the United States, as well as our great Maryland and DC team. But what we have is proprietary technology to make not only hemp paper faster and better, but also better containers. We're starting with helping the composting industry. The composting industry is a great partner of ours, because if you think about it, if you guys want to compost something, right, you dig a hole in your backyard, or you can maybe get to a municipal provider or a private provider, but you got about a 2% chance in the United States right now of being able to have somebody who can take your food scraps and do something good with them. That's not a really great situation. It's also a great business opportunity. And so what we're doing is we're working with Maryland farmers, and this is a job growth opportunity too, to help them grow hemp, make products with it, and also offer land for composting. So it's a kind of a 2-win opportunity. If you've got 20 acres, our composting partners can get you some revenue, and farmers like revenue. So what we're looking for, and I think we have it here, we're looking for farmers and organizations interested in hemp and composting. I should mention, even though Chris took it out, and he told me he did, We did just launch a capital raise. We're not supposed to talk about money here. It's not about money. It's about relationship. But, you know, just in case anybody's interested, just in case. But we're looking for farmers and organizations interested in hemp and composting. These are farm cooperatives. I have some farming background in my family. My Uncle Bob, you know, Uncle Bob, he was part of a dairy cooperative. Uncle Bob didn't own everything, but he owned the grain elevator, okay? Cooperatives have been making stuff for a long time, and you can make products locally. One of the things that you might not know about that water bottle over there, see that water bottle that you can buy for $1.49 at a 7-Eleven? About 47 cents of that is transportation costs. Does that make much sense? No. Once you make a container, a carton that's compostable locally, and fill it with local water, that's filled with tap water anyway. Okay? So anyway, a couple of things we'd love to talk to you about is local packaged goods partners. We've got some great beta partners for compostable containers, soap companies, food product companies, the composting industry. We'd love to make more stuff, so come talk to us about that. More team members in time. You know, we'll go with that 200,000 capital raise, right? Oh, it is up there. So, and we do have a selected ask for grant funding from certain counties, and we'll get to that in time. But with that, you know, we look forward to talking with you, and thanks very much for your time.
Hey, yep, good evening. I am Tony Cantafio. I am Program Manager at Teamwork Security. This is Jordan Creamer. She is our Senior Cyber Analyst. So a little bit about us. We're gonna tag team this, by the way. So that's kind of how we like to do things. But so Teamwork Security is a certified 8A and SDVOSB technology company that builds intelligent workforces and solves big data and automation challenges using machine learning, data science, and collaborative software to empower our user. Simply put, we build software that people like to use, want to use, and that integrates with tools that they have to use. We've been around, we're about to celebrate our 3rd anniversary coming up on October 1st. And in the past 2 years, we've had a primary customer, we've pulled in around $5 million of revenue in the past 2 years. HiveIQ is our signature intelligent workflow and knowledge management platform that optimizes workforces by bringing all your everyday tools into one efficient environment, and it has been proven in multiple national and state level cyber exercises, most recently to bridge the gap between private critical infrastructure, state level fusion centers, National Guard, and US Cyber Command. And I'll let Jordan get into real quick about our signature platform.
Thank you. So as Tony said, HiveIQ is our signature platform that we use. It has been exercised across Cyber Yankee, Cyber Shield, Cyber Guard, Cyber Flag, so multiple different, anywhere from local, regional exercises up to the national level. Most recently, in Cyber Yankee, what we were able to do is prove that the platform, using a very local state police force and using social media platforms across the board, the platform integrated within HiveIQ as well as the local and state police force to use different types of information sharing management and collaboration using the integrated chat feature as well as report sharing features. They were able to not only all the way up from the local level up to the federal level report if you will, a lone wolf attack while a cyber exercise was happening, but they were also able to arrest, if you will, the attacker during the exercise. It was a way that we proved all the way up to the federal level that this is very important down to the lowest level person, and it worked very well in our favor. The platform was built by intelligence analysts for intelligence analysts in support of the cybersecurity community. We also are trying to branch out and use this tool in other different places in the industry, as well as things like power companies who have a problem meeting certain types of requirements and they don't have a way to share across the platform that they use. There are tons of different platforms and sensors that are used for network and infrastructure analysts, but they don't get run against anything. This platform allows us to be able to take that data and information off of their platform and run it against real-world threat reports that you can gather from things like FireEye and Mandiant and understand your threat in your own environment better than you do now. So it's a platform for the analysts to take that information and share it across other collaborators and organizations and come back with a real-world report for actionable intelligence for CEOs and commanders across different organizations. And that's what I have.
That's good. So what are we, I guess we'll address this, right? So what do we need? How can you help? What are we looking for? Resourcing and networking opportunities to broaden our customer base, potential ideas for how to expand some of our capabilities to different potential industries, as Jordan was mentioning. And I think also some sort of potential mentorship opportunities as we look to scale here in the very, very near future. So companies or individuals that have experience in scaling an organization, as we start to do that, we're looking for those potential partnerships. Thank you.